Hello, my beautiful souls. How are we doing today? How are we doing this week? All right, let me take a sip of my water because I'm a little parched. Welcome to the intuitive card reading for the week of, we're going into July here, June 30th through July 6th. This is actually during a American holiday. Happy 4th of July, happy Independence Day to all of my Americans out there. I am also an American. Okay guys, same thing. Please like this video. Please share this video with anybody that needs to hear the energies of the week and the influences and what is going on. What else? Comments down below, just be kind, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed. If you've watched at least 2 of my videos, please subscribe to my channel. It really helps the algorithm. It really helps grow my channel. The more we grow, the more videos we can put out, the more I get better. I'm on a health journey, the more videos I put out. So cheer me on, guys. It's happening though. It's definitely happening. So, all right. Anyway, guys, this is a reading for the collective. Same 3 decks that I think I've been using 2 decks for the last few readings. I'm using 3 this time. Nothing you haven't seen before. Shuffled, of course, and in an intuitive order. If I pull out of order, that is okay. It means it was supposed to be, it was meant to be. Okay, I don't believe in mistakes when it comes to your intuition. Okay. Let's begin, guys. What do we need this week? Druid, hold the space. Okay, we need to hold the space, whether it's for ourselves or for other people. Usually, sometimes this just means more active listening. It could also mean taking a pause. It could mean slowing down. It could be, when I say active listening, for others. So maybe somebody needs, to vent to you. Maybe you need to vent, okay, because it's under the need card there. Could be us, could be other people. But this just means like make the space for something. Maybe you've been putting something off. Maybe you've been kind of dismissing someone or dismissing something. Maybe, avoiding something, maybe something within yourself, something that maybe you don't want to talk about, but really needs to be talked about. So there's something kind of here where it's saying like pause, take a time out, express what you need to express, hold, make sure there's an actual conversation about it, which means that somebody's expressing, somebody's holding the space, and we should be good to go. So basically we need to kind of get that out, and it feels like we need to do it for like emotional grounding, because this really, like if you look at the card, there's a bunch of leaves on it too, right? So that means basically saying that it's a more grounding practice. Anytime we're present, or we, we're not go, like super in our yang energy, we're more so in the yin energy. So this does call for a little bit of yin, which is basically saying, again, expression is yin, pausing is yin, listening is yin, all of that stuff. So we definitely need it. And yeah, let's see what action we need to take for this week. Okay, orphaned. All right, so this means loneliness, depression, feeling isolated, feeling like people don't understand. So yeah, just coming off of that. Okay, so this definitely does tell me, putting these 2 and 2 together, is that we really need to hold the space for people, because people could be feeling lonely, and it feels like it could be, again, it could be us, right? It's saying like, maybe we need to talk to somebody this week, okay? Something is bothering you and something, you have to get something out. Please go ahead and do it. And this is under action needed. So it's saying, listen, you have to do it, okay? Please do it. I know, okay, we all have our own intuition, so do what you need to do. Spirit is not bossing you. I'm not trying to boss you, okay? But this is basically saying like, it's a really important week for you to kind of get things out and get the help that you need. Like connect to somebody, connect with a good listener. Maybe this means going to therapy or something like that. But you really need to, another way to say this is also like rejoining a community, because we really are feeling alone. We're feeling misunderstood. We're feeling like nobody sees us, nobody wants us, right? We've got that like really loneliness thing kind of going on, and we need to take action. So guys, there's no shame here, okay? If we're feeling depressed, if we're feeling lonely, we're feeling detached from reality, from people, from community, we need people, okay? We need these things. So it's definitely, to kind of make it a little bit more broad, those first 2 cards here are really about like taking care of our own needs, and we really need to do that, okay? So if you need somebody to listen, or, reach out to a friend, reach out to a therapist, reach out, to someone that could hold the space for you and listen to your issues. And again, it could also come in from the outside, externally, like maybe you have a friend that really needs it, or a child, a parent, something. So there's that. So yeah, guys, I'm not gonna lie, don't love the energy first coming out, but the way that we can look at it positively is like we're actually going to get help, right? We're going to reach out for the help that we need. We're going to get back to our humanity. That's like a good way to put it, because that's what this is about. Life is just a series of relationships. I've been saying this for like a really long time. It's just, we need each other, okay? We need other human beings, and we need to come together in community, come together in humanity. And this is definitely indicating that for sure. All right, let's see. All right, so even though I would consider what I just, all that stuff I just mentioned is as issues and challenges, but let's see what comes in these spots here. All right, wounded child. All right, not shocked by this. Okay, but it's in the light. So it says awakens compassion and desire to serve other wounded children, opens the learning path of forgiveness. Okay, so it definitely does feel like we're having issues with wounded children, meaning like our, wounded inner child. Childhood issues are resurfacing. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure it's a few weeks back. Not that long ago, probably just a few weeks, maybe a month or so back or something. We had all of the child cards basically from the archetype deck, okay? So coming up basically indicating that we really need to work on that, right? And it was a little lighter definitely last time for sure. It was kind of really about like, connecting to that innocence, that playfulness, like that kind of thing. This one kind of feels a little bit darker. Not gonna lie to you guys. You guys know I always tell you the truth. So it definitely probably has something to do, coming off that orphan card where we feel lonely, we feel like misunderstood, we feel like, we're being triggered left and right with whatever's going on, whatever happened to us in our childhood. And it doesn't necessarily have to just be childhood, could be old wounds of some kind. If we're being honest, a lot of the stuff that we have going on today happened in our developmental, stages, but could also be like early 20s and things like that. But yeah, it definitely does feel like we're being triggered there. I mean, there's not too much more I can say about that, but I'm curious to see what the challenge is. So let's go. Stag, trust and thrive. Okay, so it's going to feel a little rough. The stag is basically about trusting that you'll get through and that you'll thrive, and it's under challenge. So it feels like it might feel like we can't get through it. It might feel like we can't be headstrong about it and get through it and work on it and go through the pain, but you can. Okay, you always, always, always can. It's always possible. So, but it does feel challenging in that way. But this definitely gives the vibe of optimism. I'm not gonna lie, even under the challenge. So definitely work through your stuff. It would not be a bad idea to get a mental health professional or somebody involved in some way, shape, or form to help you work through these issues, for sure. Trust that you can get through it and you can finally thrive, right? Because basically it's saying it feels challenging that you feel like you'll ever be able to thrive. And you can, okay? So guys, right off the bat, just like taking an inventory right now, definitely looks like our emotional life is a little rocky this week, okay? A little rocky. That's all right. We're almost about like a third through. So let's keep going and seeing what actually is going to change. What do we got? Poise. There we go. All right. I thought, here's the brightness after the last 4 cards. Poise means you've got your crap together. You've got, I'm not sure if I think YouTube allows me to say the word crap. You have your stuff together. Let me just put it that way. Okay, you have your stuff together. You're kind of like ready for the next move. You're kind of waiting for it. You're ready, basically. So basically it's saying the changes that you're ready. So if there's something that you have been dreading, maybe you feel like you weren't ready for it or was coming too soon, like you feel like you're ready for it now. Or if this is especially true if anybody has had like a past opportunity where they feel like they weren't ready for it and passed on it. Now it feels like it's ready. So it might come back around. I'm definitely getting like this feeling of like returning, like some kind of returning, like saying like the timing is better now. Like it's more of like a divine timing situation. So you guys might be experiencing maybe something that maybe you passed up before is coming back and you're ready to take it now. Like it's like you're like a completely different person. You're in a financial place to take the opportunity or whatever it actually is. So it definitely feels like we're finally ready for something, right? We're actually ready to do something and make some change in our life in one way or another. It doesn't necessarily mean career, but it definitely could be. It could be relationship, a change in a relationship, change in location, things like that. It's not specific to anything. So I love that. But I'm definitely getting, again, like I said, that feeling that, it could especially be for people that have passed on a past opportunity and now are ready for this opportunity. Or it could just be something more divine timing, right? So, okay, focus, a Samaritan. So it says, refine your capacity to help those you would prefer to ignore. Okay, so this is about being a good Samaritan. So this is about giving back to the community. So basically it's saying focus on that. I'm actually not surprised we get some type of energy like this, because when we're in a bad, well, I don't want to use the word bad, we're in a more negative space, maybe a more depressive space, or feeling lonely. Yes, the cards say, Spirit is asking us to reach out to people and help ourselves, but I'm not shocked that we have a Samaritan card saying help others. So it's saying focus on helping others, because when we are lost or, again, depressed, alone, the best way we can be a part of that is like apathy sometimes. And the best part that we can really help with that apathy is really focusing on other people and how we can help other people, because it makes us feel good, right? So we want ourselves to start feeling good, start feeling lighter. So I'm not shocked that it's saying, hey, even though you feel like you can't, focus on other people the best that you can. Okay, reflect. Earth Guardian, say rooting ground. Okay, so another card, lots of green, another grounded type card. So we have reflect. So reflect is usually, more of an introspective type energy. And so basically this is saying we need to reflect on what makes us feel rooted, what makes us feel grounded. This is especially for my earth signs out there. This is especially for any, and air signs and water signs, because your water signs are tend to be like more of the emotional type. So we need all kinds of grounding is basically what it's saying. But it's saying that we need to kind of reflect on what keeps us grounded, what keeps us rooted. And I definitely do feel like this feels like emotionally, like where do we feel most safe? Where do we feel like we're at home, is it with a certain community, et cetera, et cetera. So we need to start looking at these things where we can feel connected, where we feel rooted and grounded. So reflect on that. And bonus, if you can, and these are some good journal prompts, but if you can go journal out in nature, that would be a bonus for that, for sure. Okay, responsibilities. We have co-create. Okay, so responsibilities says co-create. It means that we work within partnership, or it could also be a card of manifesting. It could also be working with the universe. That's what manifesting really is. So your responsibilities is to do that, is to have more of an abundance mindset. Keep that optimism going when it comes to abundance, prosperity. So it's your responsibility to kind of work on your mindset and to make sure that you're open to co-creating with people. I do want to say this, diagonal from the orphan card, and also below the wounded child, is it could also like be bouncing off of each other, saying like, we might be feeling like alone or misunderstood because, we're telling ourselves that nobody understands us, nobody likes me, nobody wants to connect with me, nobody wants to be with me, nobody likes spending time with me, like different things like that. So this co-create card coming through, this, with those type of energies up there, this could mean that, Spirit is reminding us that it's your responsibility to get yourself into a community. It's your responsibility. Like, it's like, you have to change your mindset around it. Like more of a prosperous and abundance. And it doesn't necessarily have to be about finance, okay? It could be an abundance of friends, abundance of people that want to spend time with you and that love you. It might just be the story, fix that story that we might be telling ourselves. Like, we might be boxing ourselves in. We might be, creating our own suffering in that way, right? So basically it's saying that we need to co-create like a different type of story, okay? That we really need to think more, less in lack, more in abundance. That's basically what it's saying. And that we can work with people, right? And so if you are, it's saying action needed, you feel alone. So maybe joining a club, going, getting a hobby, going to a class, something like that. That's your responsibility, is to co-create with others, to meet other people. That's your responsibility, to be amongst people, to put yourself in those situations, et cetera, et cetera. So it's mindset, but it's also like, it's your responsibility to put yourself in spaces and environments where you can co-create with other people. So it's really a dual meaning there. All right, money and finances and career. We have hero, heroine, passion for a journey of personal empowerment. Have we had this for money and finances before or recently? Not sure, but okay, so this is passion for a journey of personal empowerment. Okay, so this is being the hero in our own story. So this is more so, more of, I would actually say, of the energy of creating your own story. It says journey of personal empowerment. So you've worked on yourself, right? Let's explain the hero, heroine. You've worked on yourself and you finally have gotten to the top. People are climbing a mountain there on the card, or you have become your own hero. You've saved yourself, right? It's kind of very opposite to the damsel archetype. And so we've gotten there. So it's under money, finances, and career. So I love that it's also next to the co-create, because again, co-create tells us that we create our own reality, and then the hero, heroine makes it makes it possible. So to me, I'm interpreting this as very positive for money, finances, and career. I think it's more of a reflection type thing, not necessarily action oriented. I can see it in my environment. I can see it externally. But it does feel like we have gotten to a place where we feel like we can save ourselves, or we're taking more initiative on our own for money, finances, and career, where we're being our own hero, that we've worked on ourselves enough to get to that place. Hopefully this isn't confusing, but a small example I would think of is like, if you feel like you're not getting promoted at your job, that, you've done a lot of, personal work on yourself, and you've taught yourself this skill and that skill, and, you took a night class, and now you feel like you're ready to start your own business. And so you did it. You took it into your own hands, basically. You took the class. You spent those hours on YouTube learning a skill, and you've done it. Like you became the hero of your own life, and now you're like ready to start your own business because you're not getting what you want out of your 9 to 5. So that's what it feels like to me. It's kind of like you're taking initiative, and nobody's coming to save you. You're being your own hero. So I love that. You need more money, you're going to find out how to make more money, that kind of thing. And it could be just like a side hustle thing. You don't have to necessarily, quit the 9 to 5. But anyway, this is about you figuring out how you can be your own hero when it comes to your finances, money, and career. All right, what comes as a surprise? We have sun. Yes, okay. I was kind of secretly hoping, I mentioned, the States is going through a holiday this week. So I was hoping there was like some fun in the sun, or some kind of cards of fun. I was not, wasn't feeling so great at those first 4 cards up there. But now we have surprise, and now we have sun. Straight up, enjoy success, enjoy happiness. So I definitely do feel like there's some celebration. So hopefully we can get ourselves under control that actually makes sense why we would have an orphan card there. Because there's a holiday, we might, sometimes holidays bring up things with family, wounded child. Guys, putting two and two together here. So we might be feeling alone on the holiday. So again, take the co-create type type of energy and really apply it. So if you don't want to be alone on 4th of July, get on the computer and find out what's happening in your city. Find barbecues, find free things, connect with a friend. Maybe they're actually having a barbecue, whatever. That's about taking initiative. So we need to pull ourselves out. Very similar to like the hero energy, hero, heroine energy. But anyway, the surprise is you might actually have fun, right? The surprise is, even though it feels like it's, starting out a little dark, there's definitely some fun in this week for sure. I love that came out that way. All right, this is going to be an interesting one. Clean it up. Okay, so this is about cleaning up, doing the little things, finishing projects, cleaning up before starting something new. So this is under friends. So basically it's saying like, maybe since we're getting that energy, and it definitely set the tone for the rest of the reading about emotional stuff going on. This basically says clean it up emotionally, it feels like, and it's also under friends, which is our relationship. So emotional equals really, relational skills. So this is basically saying like, don't necessarily like start new fights or new arguments, or start anything anew before closing up, the last. So this could mean like finish, I don't want to say finishing what you started, but it's basically saying like clean up the mess. Don't just like, put something on top of it and pretend it's not there, right? It's kind of more about like, you gotta clean it up, right? You've gotta, if you would, don't just pretend there's like an elephant in the room or there's a moose on here, so maybe a moose in the room, right? Where it's basically saying like, make sure you make up, make sure there's conflict resolution, things like that, before like starting a new conversation, it's kind of like finish the argument, right? Finish the argument. Make sure there is, like I said, good conflict resolution. I think I'll confuse you more if I keep trying to interpret this. Okay, romantic connection. We have, oh, look at that. I told you, sometimes I pick from the same deck. Okay, so we have higher power. So, all right. Higher power means connecting to spirit more, opening that crown chakra. We also have the 4 on here, which is kind of jumping out to me. It means foundation. So it's under romantic connection. So we're having some spiritual experiences in our romantic connections. This could look so many different ways. You could be meeting, maybe meeting a soulmate. You might be feeling soul connected to someone, or you might have a more spiritual experience, so lots of synchronicities with somebody, seeing angel numbers when you meet somebody. This is actually a very good week for single people for sure, but let's just say you might be having more godly experiences with intimacy, okay? I don't know what's safe for YouTube quite yet. I think I know, but let's just say intimacy and physical relations are definitely, good and feel more spiritual. They feel more emotional. I love it. There's not too much more I can say here. And like I said, double whammy with the 4 and the spiritual experiences for people that are dating. So 4 means foundation. So you could be finding something to be building, a very profound and spiritual foundation with. So this is a really, really good week for romantic connections. And again, people that are dating in general. All right, important. Knight, loyalty, romance, and chivalry, love of honor. Okay, it's important to be honorable, loyal, chivalrous, have lots of integrity. So it's really important to have all of those things. There's not really too much more I can say here. I definitely am feeling our relationships and our connections are definitely on the, our relationship with self, obviously, but also like our relationships with other people are definitely on the, in the foreground of this week. So just make sure you bring all of those qualities and have all of those qualities if you're meeting new people too. Excuse me. All right, I'm kind of afraid to see this one under health and wellness because of the orphan card and the, the wounded child. So let's see. We have medicine guardian. Okay, guys. Love all the green, okay? Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so more. It's asking us to ground more, okay? So the other thing too, why I think that it's asking us to ground more is because we're in our heads too much, okay? If this is depression here, this orphan card, we were just too much in our heads that combined with the wounded child, a lot of the things could be going on in your head. You're not worthy enough. You're what do we call it? Spiraling, right? We could definitely spiral. All right. No more spiraling. This is what this is saying. It's saying no more spiraling. Okay. And then it says medicine guardian, be open to healing information. So this is about being open to what people have to say. We started out with the hold the space of active listening. Not only us being active listeners, that we have to seek out active listeners. Okay. And we need to listen to what they actually have to say. So you guys know I read intuitively, and I am very, very biased when it comes to your intuition. I feel like it's king, queen. I feel like it's everything, okay? But your logical mind is also important, okay? And also, sometimes it's okay to hear opinions from other people, okay? So this is kind of what it's saying. It's saying not necessarily opinions, viewpoints, information. It's saying like maybe someone can help you in some way, shape, or form, okay? This is a good example of a therapist, okay? A therapist can help you. They can give you good insights. They can give you awareness tools. They can give you healing tools, because this is what it's about, saying be open to this healing information. I'm focusing on a mental health journey because it kind of alluded to that in the beginning of the reading, okay? So, but it could be any kind. It could be, I'm on a physical healing journey. So I should be open to additional information, okay? Don't let your ego come in and say, no, I've always done it this way. My intuition says this. And again, love the intuition, love following it. It's definitely king and queen. However, it's okay, maybe this week, put the ego aside. Listen to other people's viewpoints, listen to other people's opinions, listen to other people's suggestions, especially when it comes to health and wellness. Love that. Okay, overall outcome, thinker. Okay, speaking of logic and using your brain, that's the overall outcome. Okay, we have the 44 again, so we have double fours, and then we have the thinker. So basically this is saying, I mentioned earlier about being in our heads. This can mean that we need to, like I said, our logic is great. Our mind is great, but sometimes it tricks us. Okay. Sometimes it is, making us spiral, like I said. And so basically it's saying it's okay to be the thinker. And it's okay to use that, use your logic and all of that good stuff, but overthinking, spiraling, I keep using that word because there's not, ruminating, that's another word, ruminating, spiraling, overthinking, just, being in our head so much, it's going to mess us up, okay? It really is going to get in the way this week, and it's up to us to save ourselves, right? We've got 2 cards here in the middle talking about saving ourselves, co-creating with the universe, reaching out to people, because we are ready for a change, right? The poise tells us we're ready for a change, okay? So it definitely does feel like we can get in our own heads this week. It's not, I believe it's coming out in the overall outcome saying like it's, thinking is not a bad thing. We're not saying it's a bad thing, but there is the danger. Anything that is in excess is not usually, going to be a really positive thing. So definitely, I do believe by the end of the week, we get to a better place for sure. We might be still, in our heads, but I definitely do feel like we do some improvement as long as we kind of work with these energies, which Spirit is pretty much trying to tell us, right? It kind of is like a storytelling thing going on here. So, all right, guys, hopefully that makes sense. I think it's a positive week. We've got the sun here that makes me happy, because basically it says there's some sun this week, okay? So I didn't mean it to be like a negative Nancy type reading, but I definitely, again, feel like we're battling with the overthinking, we're battling with the ruminating, we're battling with the spiraling, we're battling with the depression, the loneliness, the not feeling understood, the childhood stuff that's coming up. So we have our work cut out for ourselves this week, okay? Let's put it that way. But I don't think it's a bad thing, okay? We've got a lot of positive things popping out of this reading, and we can get it under control, and we can obviously be the hero in our own lives. So I hope this reading was helpful for you guys. Please watch out for the monthly. I'm excited to do that one. It will probably be scheduled. You guys will be seeing this on Monday. Yeah, so you'll probably be scheduled this evening. So look out for that. Definitely hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I upload that, and it is scheduled for premiere. And other than that, guys, have a wonderful week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.